The West was an old land, but it created a new era. An image that still a century later lives in legend and fact. Recreated constantly, but never really as gloriously and terrible as it was. The West was many things, but most of all, an uncompromising band of men and women who in their living and dying made history books suddenly come alive with a pungent earthiness that could never be reenacted as it happened. And it did happen. The cavalry sweeping across the plains. The pure clarion call of the bugle announcing its charge or rescue. Many times too late. Or riding to disaster as Tennyson's 600 rode. Or waiting in the crevices and rocks, disguised by the nature that they loved and used as no other human could, was the painted red man, ambushing the glory and silencing the trumpet blown too soon and too loud. There was truth in the West, for every day in some corner of its wilderness, men faced it in each other, steel in their hands, and finally their bodies. Many moments of truth filling the landscape with wooden images of what once moved and laughed and lived. The landscape of the West was not a neat or orderly thing, but miles of ever-changing and dangerous terrain. And then suddenly, as if it had fallen there, or grown overnight, a town, a mottled collection of irregular shacks and wooden frames, standing starkly in the vastness of open plain. But from this same land, famous cities were born, great towns which grew with progress. Denver, Las Vegas, and San Francisco. It had its infamous communities, too, which died finally, although a little slower death, perhaps, than the men who brought them their short-lived fame. But most of these ghost towns, however, still live. At least each summer they come alive as thousands of tourists, cameras in hand, come to stare and muse. Not looking really for fact, but reliving the legends by photographing themselves against the backdrops of dusty streets. Streets where Doc Holliday, Billy the Kid, and Wyatt Earp had moved and killed. A few of these towns, however, are too far from the concrete ribbons that carry the ever-curious summer people on their search for the excitement that legend created. And it's just as well. For each year, as the big winds of the plains tear and buffet the wooden frames, sending splinters and nails spinning across the desert, it not only reduces one town physically of its hollow structures, slowly wearing away any evidence of what it once was, but also arouses its ghosts from a sleep as long as Rip Van Winkle's